Hello, hello, hello. Together alone? George, what are you doing? Hi, this is day, whatever it is, day 38, 39, doesn't really matter, does it? But we are going to do some maths today. And I'm going to make this kind of freewheeling. And I'm going to borrow probably some of George's crayons as well. And George is here. Yeah. Okay. I think we've all seen this. Yeah? Down here is deaths and cases. And there's this huge bell here. None of this is to scale, or as it should be. But the points I'm going to make are fairly straightforward. Yeah, good, George. You're going to learn as well. This huge bell there is without any interventions of any kind. I mean, in fact, the only intervention that the government has really pulled, and you're going to pull that over, is lockdown, and that belatedly. And then here is with lockdown, and that first crest there is we'll call that baseline 0, yeah, and that is with lockdown. And if you get a very solid lockdown, then you avoid all of this. For every day that you delay, and I made this point in another video, if you've got a situation where cases and deaths are doubling every 2 days, which they are, I'll go on to explain that. I know loads of people are going to take issue with what I've just said. And of course I won't be precisely right, but I am more or less, George. I am more or less. Anyway, in a situation where cases and deaths are doubling every 2 days, yeah? For every day that you delay, 10 to 14 days later, 10 to 14 days later, George, there's going to be a test on this later. 10 to 14 days later, the amount of cases and deaths goes up by 40%. 40%. George, shall we do some drawing? I'm going to do some drawing. I'm going to do the red one. Yeah? So, I'm just going to do 2 of these. Not going to do a lot of drawing. Yeah? Whoops! I've done that wrong, George. Are you helping me, lovely boy? So here I've drawn the next day. And that gap there, yeah? That's 40% as well. But don't forget, it's 40% of this hole here. And the next one, that's 40%. So that blue line actually should be higher. And all these lines here go to 0. Yeah, even the huge one eventually goes to 0. Even if you let the pandemic go untrammeled, eventually it goes to 0. So, for every day, it's not funny, George, it's actually serious. Yeah, you get into this report. So, I know we shouldn't be in the blame game, but let's have some fun, eh? Let's have some fun. I started saying that we should go into lockdown on the 10th of March. So Boris didn't put us into lockdown until the 20th of March, which was 10 iterations of 40%. So if we take a base number on day 1 of 100, let's say if he'd have imposed the lockdown here and we'd ended up with 100 deaths at this point here, maximum. At the end of this process, we'd end up with 100 deaths. For every day that he delayed, yeah, what we end up with is that number, 100 multiplied by 40%, and then you take 140, multiply that by 40%, what's that, 96, multiply that by 40%. What you end up with is 2,892% more deaths than we should have had he imposed lockdown 10 days before. Okay? Right, let's have a look at a chart. So, Georgie, you can destroy that. Here we have the date, yeah? And this is the actual number of deaths that we've had to date, starting on the 11th of the 3rd and ending with yesterday's numbers, which have been announced today, on the 31st of the 3rd. So my contention is that they double. The number of deaths doubles every day. Yeah? It goes 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096. So my contention is that's where we should be. And we are not. We are at 2,352. So I've got it wrong. Francis has got it wrong. Yeah. I'm out by 2 days. Okay? I'm out by 2 days. And even then, I'm not totally convinced. It is funny. Because if we look at the daily number of deaths, yeah, the increase, it goes plus 2, plus 11, plus 14, plus 20, plus 16. It dips there, plus 32. But these are very small numbers. Plus 47, plus 33, another dip, plus 58, plus 48, plus 54. Now it's rising. Plus 87, plus 156, plus 181, plus 269. And now, suddenly, the number of deaths goes down by 60. The number of deaths drops by 60. I mean, what happened? Did the coronavirus take a day off? Yeah? Then the day after that, it goes down to 180. It goes down again. So the coronavirus took another day off? No. And then after that, it jumps up. It goes suddenly plus 381. And then yesterday, plus 563. I'll tell you what's happening there. And that is there's human beings involved in the counting. The numbers are wrong because the human beings are doing the counting. The coronavirus does not take a day off. I don't know what's happening with the numbers. I can tell you everything. All I know is if you get human beings involved in numbers, whether they be financial results or whether they be things like this, where there's political expediency, there's moral expediency, there's issues of morale, there's human error. I mean, a lot of people, they've admitted it. Some of the numbers are being changed because what's happened is that people have died and it's not been known. Georgie Porch is so cute. It's not been known officially whether they died of COVID. So they've had to wait. Hello, lovely boy. They've had to wait for the numbers to come back. And then they've had to retrospectively update the numbers. The point I'm making is this is doubling and it's still doubling. And we don't know how many more of these we've got. But that we should have been down here, but we'll have 10 more. Well, let's not say 10. Let's give Boris the benefit of the doubt. You can't organise these things instantly. But he had, he took so long to abandon his herd immunity strategy. He will be hung out to dry, and rightly so. It's infinitely sad. But it's going to get very ugly, and you people will rightly be begging for Boris to be tougher. And those people who think it's funny for, you know, their children to be out on the street, or who know people who think it's funny. You know, some people say, oh, Francis, you're preaching to the converted. Okay, I'm preaching to the converted. Shout at the people who you know, whose children and whose grannies and whose uncles and aunts and sons and daughters think it's funny to be going out and meeting in groups for a quick fag on the corner of the street, who think it's funny to be going and playing bridge with their local friends. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's going to get so not funny. But the thing is, the numbers don't lie. They don't lie. Human beings lie and get numbers wrong, but the numbers don't lie. The coronavirus never takes a day off. It never says, today I'm going to kill less people than I did the day before. The only way it does that is by having a proper solid lockdown where human beings do not see each other, do not interact, and are socially distant. And there will be tougher measures because it's going to get so painful. I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but these numbers have been my obsession. Anyway, bye from George. Bye for now.